the last time she was seated in this park. They were further apart than they'd ever been. She had glimpsed him on the screen of her laptop all those years ago, his butt concealed by a web diaper, going viral online, all over social media. She had closed the laptop face down, out of embarrassment. She whispered a word she would come to hate herself for uttering. Idiot. There was a moment, an instant, where Mary Jane believed that she meant it that day. That's how much she had been hurting at the time. Many rationalizations for where her headspace was at had ran through her mind, but ultimately the simplest one was the best. She loved Peter Parker, and she couldn't bear to be let go. There was a strength in Peter that was undeniable. She relied on it. When Otto Octavius took control of his mind and body, one of his first orders of business was to cast her adrift. All of a sudden, the strength she sought in him was diminished. She felt like he was so much less of who he'd been, and if he wasn't all he could be, how could she measure up? The nightclub, the employment at Stark Enterprises, all of that was an attempt to eclipse that strength she'd sought in Peter, to prove she didn't need it, to pay him back for Otto's poor judgment. For some reason, she couldn't tell what was what anymore, and it pained her. And when Peter eventually told her that he needed her to make his world right again, she cast aside that need to eclipse him, for she knew her strength was his own. She knew she was needed. They were in this together. Today they were seated meters apart from each other in the park, uncertain of one another's company, unsure of what it was they were supposed to say. She hadn't told Paul they had arranged this meeting. How could she bear it? The man was not in a forgiving mood, not after Peter, under the influence of sin, not his own, had attempted to murder him. Because of this, it had been Paul who had instructed MJ to keep Peter at a distance, and for the sake of his mental health, she had obliged. The past few days had seen Peter tested once more, brought to the brink, and he had come out unwilling to admit he had come so close to, again, realizing the accusatory queries of the Daily Bugle at the peak of its fame. Threat or menace? The Peter that sat apart from MJ was a changed man many times over, but he looked as humbled before her as he did the night of their last reconciliation. This was a man in need of a friend, in need of understanding, in need of love, and in need of strength. MJ's strength. Paul had wished to deny her that chance. Idiot, MJ thought.